Imagine facing an army armed with rifles, while carrying nothing more than a spear and a shield. Imagine refusing to surrender your land, your traditions, and your identity for centuries. Across the vast plains of East Africa lived a people whose courage became legendary. European explorers feared them. Neighboring kingdoms respected them. Even powerful colonial armies struggled to break their spirit. These were the Maasai. But the story you're about to hear isn't just about warriors. It's about honor, discipline, sacrifice, and a culture that refused to disappear. By the end of this video, you'll understand why the Maasai became one of Africa's most respected peoples and why their traditions continue to inspire millions today. Welcome to African Tales Arising. Let's begin. Long before modern borders divided East Africa, the Maasai roamed freely across what is now Kenya and Tanzania. Their homeland stretched from snow-capped Mount Kilimanjaro to the endless Serengeti plains. This wasn't an easy place to survive. The scorching sun, wild lions, hyenas, leopards, long droughts. Yet the Maasai thrived. To outsiders, these grasslands looked empty. To the Maasai, they were home. Every hill, every river, every grazing ground carried stories passed from one generation to another. They believed their creator, Enkai, had entrusted all cattle on earth to them. Cattle weren't simply wealth. They were life itself. Milk, food, marriage, status. Even prayers centered around cattle. A man with many cattle was considered blessed. Without cattle, survival became nearly impossible. From childhood, every Maasai boy learned that protecting cattle meant protecting the future of the entire community. That belief would shape some of Africa's greatest warriors. Becoming a Maasai warrior wasn't a choice. It was a calling. Boys spent years preparing for adulthood. They learned endurance, respect, discipline, tracking animals, reading weather, recognizing danger from miles away. Nothing came easily. Then came one of the most important ceremonies of their lives. Circumcision. Performed without anesthesia. The young men were expected to remain completely still. No crying. No screaming. No movement. Showing fear brought shame not only upon themselves but upon their families. Afterward, they entered the warrior age. Known as Moran, these young warriors lived together. They trained daily. Ran incredible distances. Practiced spear throwing. Perfected shield formations. Studied survival. And developed remarkable teamwork. Every warrior understood one simple truth. Your strength protects everyone. Stories about the Moran spread across East Africa. Travelers described them as fearless, tall, athletic, wrapped in bright red shukas, carrying long spears that seemed like extensions of their arms. Why red? Many believed it symbolized bravery. Others believed wild animals feared the color. Whether true or not, the sight of dozens of Maasai warriors dressed in red advancing together struck fear into enemies. Every movement was disciplined. Every decision calculated. Cowardice had no place among the Moran. If danger threatened the village, they stood first. If lions attacked livestock, they answered. If enemies approached, the warriors defended their people without hesitation. Honor meant everything. Perhaps no story about the Maasai is more famous than their encounters with lions. For generations, hunting a lion was considered one of the greatest tests of courage. It wasn't done for sport. It symbolized bravery and responsibility. A warrior had to remain calm in the face of one of Africa's deadliest predators. Working together, experienced warriors relied on strategy rather than reckless attacks. Success required patience, timing, and absolute trust in fellow warriors. Today, these practices have largely ended to help protect endangered lion populations. Modern Maasai communities now play an important role in wildlife conservation. Rather than hunting lions, many help safeguard them for future generations. Their relationship with nature has evolved while preserving the values of courage and responsibility. Everything changed during the late 19th century. European colonial powers expanded into East Africa. British authorities sought control over Maasai lands. The Maasai faced unfamiliar challenges. Foreign governments, new borders, different laws. Disease and drought also devastated livestock, threatening the foundation of Maasai life. Despite these hardships, the Maasai resisted losing their identity. Some communities negotiated. Others relocated. Many continued practicing their customs despite enormous pressure. Although they lost much of their ancestral land, they preserved what mattered most: their culture, their language, their traditions, their sense of community. Today, the Maasai remain one of Africa's most recognizable cultures. Visitors from around the world admire their colorful clothing, beadwork, dances, and ceremonies. Yet behind the famous images lies a living culture that continues to adapt. Many Maasai pursue education while maintaining traditional values. Some become doctors, teachers, entrepreneurs, conservationists. Others continue herding cattle, just as their ancestors did. Their identity is not frozen in the past, it continues to evolve while honoring centuries of heritage. What makes the Maasai story unforgettable isn't that they were perfect. It's that they understood something many societies forget. Strength without discipline is dangerous. Wealth without community means little. Tradition can survive even in a changing world. Their history reminds us that courage isn't only found on battlefields. Sometimes courage means preserving who you are despite overwhelming change. The Maasai have faced droughts, disease, colonial expansion, modernization, and countless challenges. Yet their identity remains strong. Their songs still echo across the plains. Their traditions continue. Their story lives on. And perhaps that's their greatest victory. If you enjoyed uncovering this remarkable chapter of African history, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to African Tales Arising, and turn on notifications so you never miss another untold story from the African continent. Until next time, keep discovering the stories the world rarely tells.